Now we get
Where he
to I
gets
feel like the
fun.
real teams,
Yeah.
AC.
Finally, actual play
Yes,
teams.
sir. Yes, sir.
I'll start us off here. I know Gabe is gonna like this one. This is where I have the Miami Heat
Woo!
at number 8.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what I go to. Best cook. Best cook. Best cook.
Got it too. Got it
Yeah.
too. What
All
you
right, we
got,
can
Hudson?
wrap it up. We can wrap it up. We can
Yeah.
have it
What's it?
today.
How about we start with what Hudson got? If we all got.
Oh yeah, no, I got Indiana at 8 actually.
Whoa!
I
Get
think
out. No, you have to get out.
This is crazy.
You have to get
This is
out.
crazy.
Hudson,
Get
put
it
your hat up.
sliced in
Oh,
half.
that's crazy.
Hudson, give me your hat.
Where I got Indiana.
I'm telling
Give me
you
your
right
hat.
now. Just
I need an explanation for this one.
Yeah.
Where's
So I
Ricky
feel
when
like
you need him?
They do
Text
have
Ricky
the
right
talent. They do
Nah,
have
go
the
ahead.
talent with Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam. They had the best bench in the NBA last year. They lost Mathurin, so I'll give them that. I think they'll be. They obviously have the talent to get things done, but I think the teams above them are just more locked in. I feel like Indiana gave us a surprise last year. We didn't see this coming from Indiana to be a Western Conference Finals team, be a top seed. So I feel like
But we knew they were gonna be good though.
The seed was good.
We
I
knew they
didn't
were gonna be
predict the
good.
Western Conference.
yeah, but I think Miami's going to be even better than them. Sorry, sadly, going into this year. But keep them losers down there. I think we know what in the emotes. Man, making me lose my train of thought. I think we know what Indiana
trash ass
is
tape.
now. I don't think they're going to be better than what they were last year. I feel like teams are going to prepare for them in a better fashion, and they just won't be as good as they were. Because I feel like it was a surprise seeing Tyrese Halliburton start the season off what they did, the All NBA, making it to the finals in the in-season tournament, and then they started to slow down after the Pascal trade. Mickey Mouse run, exactly. I don't think. I think teams will be more prepared at the higher level. I don't think they'll
That is some
adapt
cap.
correctly. I don't think they'll adapt. Honestly, I think they'll figure them out.
Bro,
You know,
They won't be the
thing,
best.
Hudson, bro.
Didn't they add somebody?
Who?
No,
Did they get another player in the offseason?
They just pay TJ McConnell more money.
Hudson, the thing is, like, I agree with you to an extent. I do think that, they're so bad defensively that I think it's going to catch up to them in a sense,
Yeah.
and where, like, they won't be as good this year. I don't see them making another Eastern Conference run, but, like, A seed is just wild, bro. Like, that's just too far down for
I think
me.
7 teams are better than them, honestly. in
I
terms
can't
of
see it.
Potential.
How are the Heat gonna do better than them,
So
bro?
let's talk
Let me
about the
explain
Heat.
that.
Let's talk about the Heat because the Heat, first of all, they have not improved a single thing in the off. They literally have not made one move. I don't think. I don't know who they lost.
Yeah.
Caleb Martin, who's like literally one of their best players in the playoffs. They just keep losing players every
They're all
year, and I know
pistons.
the Heat
so
the
great
Heat
guy.
pull players out of their ass all the time and stuff like that. And obviously they're still going to be a playoff team to me, but I think. With the way Jimmy Butler's looking, like, he showed up to media day without a dumb haircut, but like
He's locked in.
I don't
that's
see that
the
as him being locked in. I think there's still issues with this team. The offense has really struggled. Jimmy Butler's only getting older. Unless Bam and Tyler Hero are taking these massive jumps, the offense is going to be an issue. The reason I can't put them lower than this is because they just have an elite coach and elite players. But otherwise, like, around the edges, it's kind of rough. Like, the role players just aren't there like they used to be. Bam, Jimmy, Tyler Hero, and then, again, you got, like, Jovic, you got Jaime Jaquez, who are, like, okay, but when you compare them to the other teams' role players, the teams above them, the Pacers got better role players, the Magic got better role players, the Cavs, all these teams we're going to talk about, to me, have better role players. And I think unless the coaching is really that strong, which I don't think it is because the talent around the team isn't there. So it's like the coaching is really good when there's talent there and it can elevate them. But I just don't see that the Heat have that this year. So I think they're going to be 8 because of that. I think regular season, especially, Jimmy Butler does not care. We all know this. So it's like even more of a reason for me to think that they're not going to do as well in the regular season.
That's a good hot take, Hassan. It's a good hot take.
Yeah, I have the Heat at 7 because, like you said, Jimmy Butler, he doesn't really care about the regular season and the media day stuff, which is funny. But I feel like it's a contract year. You know how people act when it's contract years.
You've said this before. This is one of your favorite arguments.
Because it happens. Am I wrong in this argument, though?
It is true. I don't think they'll contribute like too much, but I think it's true. I think Jimmy individually will have a better season.
Serious.
I think he'll just show up more.
He'll show up. He'll play more games this year for sure. And that always, him playing will always affect them winning. Tyler Hero, very bad injury history. I think this year he'll stay healthy. I think last year the way that they ended, losing to the Celtics, they lost to the Celtics in the first round, if I can remember correctly. Got swept, and Jimmy Butler was saying that he was running his mouth off. If he was healthy, he'd play. And then Pat Riley talking about like, Jimmy shouldn't be saying anything if he's not playing. I think the
Right.
influence of Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra this year, and them taking control of the helm and like really showing why they are who they are, and setting that Heat culture with Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo playing this year, the culture will be better. And Jimmy Butler having what's it called, being in a contract year, he's going to play better this year. So I think that those three factors in coaching will get them into at least the 7th seed and have a better season overall. And like you said, Miami always finds gems. I think Jaime Hawkins is going to blossom into a better player this year. Jovic, he showed flashes at the end of the season going into last year, and I think he'll be better. So I think coaching and putting him in the right position, then mentality with also the culture that they have there, is going to be better than what Indiana can provide. And the defense is a huge problem for me from the Indiana standpoint. So I think they'll be figured out, and they can't defend anything. So I have Heat at 7.
All right, what do you guys have at 7?
Oh, 7. Hold on. Omar, you go first.
This is where I got the Magic.
Boo.
I have the Magic at 7 as well. I have the Magic at 7.
But, okay, like I like the Magic. I like that they have a lot of young talent, but they didn't really address all the concerns that they had in the offseason. I think that we'll see. I think we'll see some. Did they get a new shooter?
Yeah, KCP.
Yeah.
I mean, KCP is good. I like KCP.
He is good.
Very good.
So hopefully that does address their concerns. But yeah, I feel like they're still capped in terms of like development and experience. I do think that the other teams ahead of them were better, especially in the regular season. The Magic had started out really good last season, if I'm not mistaken, but it like evened out, the mean regression or whatever. But yeah, so I think that they still have a lot to develop. They could take jumps this year and be higher, but I don't see it this year. But we'll see.
Yeah, I got the Magic at 7. Although I could see him being higher. I think it just depends on the jumps that these players take. The real issue for them is offense. I think the defense is going to be surefire. You can rely on a nightly basis. They got one of the best defenses in the league all around. They got good defenders. I think the offense is where they really struggle. Can one of these guards really take a step forward is what I'm looking for, because especially in the modern NBA, like you need a good guard, at least somebody to handle the ball, make high IQ plays, get people the ball. Paolo's kind of does a little bit of that, but he's not really a playmaker. He's not really a ball handler like that. So I'm looking for like Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, like maybe even Anthony Black. Can one of these guys take a step forward? Because I think that's the missing piece for them. Point guard, KCP solved some of the shooting problems, so I think that could help them in that department. But offensively, it's still kind of just like Paolo just does his thing, Franz does his thing. They kind of still have a ways to go offensively, and I think that's kind of just going to limit where they're at. But I do think if they do solve that and this team does take leaps in that department, they could be higher than this. But because of the questions I have right now, I'm putting them at 7.
Believer. Tyrese Halliburton is the best point guard in the East. He should have said what I should have been here for what I have to say.
He came through. He came through.
Let me say my number 7.
Who's your number 7?
My number 7 is where I have the Cleveland Cavaliers. I have the Cavs at number 7. When I was doing this, I thought 7 through 5 were really close, in my opinion. So wherever they rank is going to be a few games off. I have the Cavaliers here specifically because there's nothing else to say about Donovan Mitchell, superstar player. Nothing wrong about him. He's amazing. Other than the fact that, I don't really see anything improvement as far as their whole team, like their team comp. So they still have Strus, they still have Garland, they still have Mobley, Allen, Levert, Okoro. So if these people, Niang, if these people aren't, taking leaps, I think they're going to just, stay in the middle of the pack again. You know what I mean? This year. So I really don't see them cracking. Best case scenario, a 5th, but worst case, 8-7, in my opinion.
They were 4 last year with the same exact team. So
yeah,
I feel like teams got better, overall. Like overall teams got better, and I think they're gonna have better seasons than the Cavs last year. So if the Cavs don't do better than the Cavs last year, which I don't think they will,
I feel like Bickerstaff had a huge role into why they were higher, and then also they've had the same roster for years now. I feel like you have to adapt at some point in the NBA. You can't have the same roster for 3 years and do the same thing and not expect a same or less result, in my opinion, especially with 2 smaller guards.
Yeah, and this 2 small guard thing that we've been talking about for the past 3 years, I'd still would like to see something else. Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, I think, well, they are great individual players. I don't think they should be playing together, in my opinion.
A lot of trade rumors starting to brew against the team chemistry. So if they start off bad, it won't be better.
Yeah, I guess that can transition. Omar, did you give your number 7? You had the Heat, or
Yeah.
who did you have?
I had the Magic.
Oh, Magic. Yeah, you did. So this is at number 6. Let me put this up. This is where I have the Cavs at number 6. I think you guys brought up some good points, but I still think this team is really talented. They have a lot of talent on the team with Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, all all-star caliber type of players. I think they just kind of need to find a way to make it work and fit together. Kenny Atkinson, I do have faith in him as a coach as well. I think he's had some teams that flown under the radar. When he coached the Nets, they kind of overachieved when he was with them. So I do believe in his ability to raise the talent on the team. But again, like you said, Hassan, the fit is a little weird with some of these players. They haven't really made many changes to the roster, besides like some small around the edges. So I think there's a cap on this team at the same time. That's why I have them at number 6. But I do think that the talent will win them games. They'll be a locked-in playoff team. They could be probably as high as 4, in my opinion, if they really put it all together, maybe even higher. Who knows? Because Donovan Mitchell is one of the better players in the league, and, the potential Evan Mobley has. We've seen Darius Garland could do. So it just, for them, will it work? I'm not sure, but I think that even if it doesn't go perfect, they have enough talent to, be a playoff team.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is where I have the Cavs at 6 for basically everything that you've said. I don't have to double down on that.
Perfect.
Omari.
All right, Gabe, or Omari, number 6. Number 6.
I was muted.
All right, my number's okay. My number 6. I'm gonna entertain this dude spamming the chat. Is when I have the Pacers.
Let's go. Come on, talk your shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even talking shit. Like, they're a good team. The East is like a little more stacked when it gets to the top, towards the top. So, it's a little top heavy. So it's kind of hard to crack the top 5, top 4. I think that they've been really productive offensively. They defensively have a bunch of questions. I feel like they try to tire people out just by picking up the pace on them, and that's their form of defense. Just having them winded.
Picking up the pace. I see what you did there.
Yeah. But no pun intended. But yeah, I think they have a lot of talent. I think that Tyrese will probably take another bit of a jump this year. But yeah, so I would think they'll be competitive. It's just going to get competitive when you get towards the top. Like, I mean, the top 7 is pretty competitive now, but
yeah,
there's a good wall to get to the top 5 or top 4.
Facts.
Yeah,
So,
their bench last year definitely kind of carried them to where they were. Obviously, Tyrese Halliburton, they had a really good start, but their deficiencies defensively was carried through their bench, and I honestly don't think they'll have the best bench in the league going into next season.
I disagree. I feel like
they'll still be the best.
I think. Well, I have them. Spoiler: I have them as my 5 seed, but I have them where I have them because of their bench. I feel like in the NBA, it's very important to have depth because, especially during the regular season, in the playoffs, not so much. Which is why I probably don't think they'll, have that Eastern Conference Finals run because, they lack a lot of important things in the playoffs where the rotations shrink. But during the regular season, they go 10, 11 deep. So on a nightly basis, it don't matter. Besides really Hallie, if anyone of these other guys is out, Miles Turner, they got Isaiah Jackson, they got what's the dude's name? Jalen Smith. You know what I mean? They signed James Wiseman too. So even though he's not.
Stop this.
Hey man, I know you're a hater, but the Pacers have been shown to rehab players. So
yeah, McConnell, Shepard, Mather, and Toppin. Facts. Talk it, Bez.
I know you hating, but James Wiseman, he can rebound at least. And the Pacers have been a good developmental program. Maybe they can help turn his career around. Who knows? They got Siakam, Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith. I could keep going. Their team is just incredibly deep, which is why I feel they'll be fine in the regular season. Obviously there's questions about the defense, but on any given night, TJ McConnell could beat you. You know what I mean? He's a good enough player where you play a bad team like the Raptors, you don't even need Halliburton. TJ McConnell could do enough for you. So Aaron Nesmith could do enough for you too. So this team is good enough to win games in a regular
Neymar
season.
could give you random 25, 27 night, bro. Come on, man. Neymar can just drop it.
I feel we just didn't expect the bench to be as good, or when is the last time we heard TJ McConnell being this good? last year compared to
He's a
other
good
seasons.
player. He's not
He's a
even
great- he's a
relying
good
on
player,
athleticism.
Hassan.
He had a career year
Yeah,
last
he's
year.
always been good,
You
bro.
think he's gonna have another career year?
Bro, it's not even
And
about
just-
career year. He's a good
always been
player.
solid though. Yeah,
He got
he's
put
always
on
been
this year,
solid.
Hassan. He's been playing like this. He just went to the playoffs deep, so now you're seeing it. But he's a great player. Trust me, I promise.
He's
you.
been good since
said
he's
you
on the
only- he said
Sixers.
you only
bro.
watch ball, nigga.
I think he's a good
He said
team.
you
I
only
just
watch
think he'll
playoff ball,
have these
nigga.
Let him
things
know.
figured
He don't watch ball.
Bro, he
you
averaged
don't
10
watch
points
ball,
on
nigga.
18 minutes, bro. He's been doing that for like the last like 7 years. Like,
He's been a dog, bro. He's been a little pit bull.
Yeah, I feel like
Dude,
they
40%
kinda
from
took us
three,
by
44%
surprise last
from
year with
three.
their bench, and I don't think it's gonna happen going into this season.
No, they didn't lose
So, I
anybody.
don't
If
know.
anything, they gained players. So I don't. They got some
Yeah,
of these
no,
rookies too, like that we don't even know how they contribute. Ben Shepherd out of nowhere last year came and gave him like not great, but he played in the playoffs and he gave him playoff minutes. So like they have a lot of guys they can play. I know you probably not tapped into some of these lower tier rotation guys, but they actually come in and provide like quality shooting, quality defense, like at least some type of role for them. That's why I'm very confident in the Pacers, at least during the regular season. Yes, we have questions about their defense, about their offensive ceiling in the playoffs and such, but in the regular season, they literally, it doesn't matter injuries, the coaching's good enough to put them in the right positions. They will win regular season games, I can promise you that.
I feel like you guys have too much faith in their bench. This doesn't it's not a season in, season out type of thing. What they have had the same players, not the same players, but technically the same core
They
players.
just broke through. They literally just broke through last year. What
Do you think
They're a young team.
What
They
is
have a
the
young
cost to
team.
Listen, what is your cost to say they're going to be worse than like really worse than last year? Like they're going to be like
they surprised us with their bench last season, and I feel like people are going to be.
I'm not surprised by their bench though. If you're surprised, that's one thing. But like they've had depth. All these guys, like they're only getting better. They don't have no type of old.
You knew that they're going to be the best
vets.
bench in the NBA last year.
I thought they would have a really good bench because they had a lot
Number
of pieces. Yes. No, but they have a good
top
bench.
5, top 3.
They don't
top
even
5,
need
top
a
3.
number 1 bench. If they're top 5 bench again this year, which is very realistic, they can do similar things. Yes, maybe the record's not exactly the same, but they're gonna win regular season games.
I agree.
I think that people will adapt to their bench coming into the season. So
we could talk about the Pacers more later. I can go to my number 6 right now, guys, because I haven't said it yet. I haven't said my 6 yet. I have the Orlando Magic here at number 6. Orlando Magic. No, I think I said it before. I think the 5 through 7 team are very close. They could probably just edge each other out. I have the Magic here because I think. I have the Magic here because I think. I know the Magic and the Cavs obviously played in the playoffs, but I'm not taking that into account in any way. I still think the Magic are going to be a better regular season team than the Cavs, just off their team construction and makeup. They also got KCP, which Bess said, which we talked about, that does help a lot of their shooting problems. Franz Wagner does need to take a little bit of a jump in his, I guess, playmaking, passing, shooting ability too, at least some way, for them to actually see some real growth. But other than that, I think the team is still solid. Paolo Banchero, very solid. Franz Wagner, very solid. I like the team overall, so I have them at 6.
Everyone give their 6.
Yeah. I can start with my 5 since Gabe talked
about. Let's go to your number 5.
I have the Orlando Magic at number 5. I think this is the year they take a leap. I believe in Paolo Banchero. I think he'll be an All-NBA player, make the third team this year. He'll be an All-Star. I think he'll take that next step and be damn near a superstar. He's going to be an All-Star level for sure. One below superstar, in my opinion. And I think that'll be enough to carry them to the 5th seed. They added shooting which was a huge discrepancy last year with KCP. I feel like Franz is he gets better every year. He's going to take another jump. They were really good defensively last year, had a all defensive player in Jalen Suggs from a guard perspective, and I think that team will continue to grow. Anthony Black going into his 2nd season as well. So I feel like they'll really good coaching too. So I feel like they'll be.
Is Jonathan Isaac going to be healthy the whole year? Do we know?
Probably not, but he'll give you what you need. So,
dude, I want that.
If he plays 10 minutes a game, he's like literally a top 10 defender. Like,
dude, I want that guy to be healthy, bro.
He was healthy to end the year, so
he's a beast, bro. He's actually
he actually would tilt the needle a little bit more for me. Like, I swear to God, Jonathan Isaac, I promise you.
Yeah. With Paul, essentially Paul Banchero, I think he'll take this team to the 5th seed, at least. So,
since we talked about them,
with some trash takes.
Since we talked about them at number 5, this is where I have the Indiana Pacers. I think they have the depth to win regular season games. I know Hassan doesn't believe that for whatever reason, but I think they got enough depth to win the regular season. Obviously, in the playoffs, we got question marks, and I'll agree with you on that part. And then making a playoff run, but in a regular season, I don't really have concerns. Even with injuries, I think they'll be good enough to win games, be hovering anywhere from the 5 to the 7 seed, I think is realistic for them. So, yeah.
Bro, wasn't Hallie injured last year too when they had a great record? Am I tripping?
Yeah, he was out. He missed games too. Yeah,
he missed like 20 games, right? Or am I tripping? I gotta look this up.
I don't think that many.
I could check.
He must have been Yeah,
he came back early too. I remember he came back early. We were like, oh, he's not the same after his injury. Do you guys remember?
Yes, yes, he did. And
he had a really good
start a lot of games.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
He played 69 games, so it was not 20 games missed, but 13 games missed. Some without your best player. So
they had Siakam at the time though.
He's gonna help him too. He can handle when Tyrese is not there, he can handle being the number 1 guy for the night. So
facts.
Along with the other pieces they have. This is not even mentioning some of the younger guys that we just haven't seen, like Jarace Walker. I really liked him coming out of the draft last year, and he just didn't play for them. And I feel like if he gets some minutes this year, but if he gets some minutes this year and actually develops, that's another athletic wing they can use. So they got players, in my opinion.
See, I also think Rick Carlisle is not going to be the greatest of coaches either. I feel like he's getting phased out, but I mean, last year he showcased he could. So this is my prediction. So we'll see.
I also have the Pacers at number 5, by the way, Bez. So picking up right where he left off. Everything Bez said is factual. Everything Hassan said is incorrect. He does not watch ball. No, I'm kidding. No, man. I believe Haliburton is still a system player on any given night. Yes, we talked about this. Nembhard, TJ McConnell, Ben Matt, these type of guys can win you ball games, even if Haliburton's not in the game, because they're just that deep. Coupled with Pascal Siakam, Miles Turner, they look pretty good in the regular season. So I feel confident giving them the number 5 spot.
Watch, mark my words, they'll be 8th this year.
Your words have been marked and they've been thrown in the trash.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Who do you have?
This is Hassan's words.
My number 5.
Their entire team's gonna get hurt. Like, I told you guys.
Yeah. I got the Cavs here. I think that in terms of like talent on the team, I think that Donovan Mitchell is still the best player on the Cavs or Pacers. You know what I mean? And I think that he brings enough offense to where it's like another level. Like, to be a top tier team, you kind of have to have that level of the dude. And I don't think Siakam is necessarily on the same level as Donovan or Tyrese. But yeah, I think that Mobley is still a good player. He still has more room to grow, but he's been great in what he's been able to do. Hopefully the lights aren't continue to be too bright for Jared Allen.
Never gonna die for that.
Garland's great. You know what I mean? I really like his game. I know that their backcourt is a defensive liability, and their system. This guy here, Ricky D. I know that the way they work together isn't always the greatest, but they've been relatively productive even with this system. I think that Max Strus was a great addition last year. I think he played super hard, and he had that 1 million foot game winner.
That was crazy.
So, yeah. So I think that they're going to have a pretty good team. I hope that Mobley gets better, because having those 2 twin towers should be good for your defense and should make up for a little bit of your defensive perimeter woes.
I always feel like he's kind of capped Mobley in the role that he plays for that team. And I think it will continue to be capped with Mitchell and Garland having the roles that they do on that offense. So
I like what Hassan said about them just not having the fit, and then them just like not making changes over the last couple of years. You got, a stagnant roster besides like a few players here and there. The team kind of just right now is in like a stalemate situation where they're good enough to make the playoffs consistently, but not good enough to really do anything in the playoffs, and the development hasn't been there for some of the younger guys. So it's like it's kind of wait and see for them. They'll make the playoffs this year for sure, but it's like, what's their ceiling? We really don't know until someone.
They've always just been a solid team with this exact same team. So it's just like I have no reason to think they'll be like much worse, but I'm sure they're not going to get over the hump with this team. You know what I mean? They're not going to get crack the top 4 with this team, but I don't see them being much worse than they have been in recent years. So
yeah. All right, top 4.
It's interesting.
You should do a new intro
for the top 4.
I think the top 4 a next breed of group.
Sure, go ahead. You can make the intro if you want.
Group. Well, we need an intro for it. Okay.
Because who wants to go first?
You give the intro. Give the intro if you want.
Oh yeah. I'll go first, but you can give the intro.
All right. We are going to be naming the top 4 teams in the Eastern Conference going into the next season. Omari, who do you have? at number 4.
This is where I got the Philadelphia 76ers. I got them 4th. Embiid's health is always up in the air. You never know how many games he's going to play. Paul George is not as bad as Joel Embiid, but very similar. I love him. He's one of my favorite players. But I think that they have the potential to be a top 3 team. But just seeing as how their injury history generally is with those 2 players, I think Tyrese Maxey is great too. But and they're a little top heavy as a team. They're not like the deepest, I would say, especially when it comes to the who.
I think Caleb's starting. Kyle Lowry, Caleb Martin.
They got Kelly Oubre too. Kyle Lowry off the bench. Eric Gordon
really
off
deep,
the bench.
actually. Yeah,
Jarek McCain is actually going to be really good for them. KJ Martin is actually good too. Like they look
Gabe,
Reggie Jackson third.
Nah, it's because like those are.
No, they're deep. They're deep.
It's like it's relative to see how like well they play, but I think that the other teams above them, not necessarily that they're deeper, but I think
Definitely
that the talent gap is higher in the top teams, and I think that the injury history is gonna cost them some regular season games. What they do in the playoffs is yet to be seen. It might be even a bigger question. I know bro said Kyle Lowry in 2024. But,
hey man, he's a bench player. We're talking about Kyle Lowry as a bench player.
He's a bench.
I think that their health would just cost them games that they would need to pass the top 3, at least in the regular season standings.
I disagree with you. I can get my 4. This is where I have the Milwaukee Bucks. I think they'll be number 4 this year, especially with Chris Middleton not being in the roster to start off the season.
He's always hurt, bro. He might be cooked.
Man,
we'll have to have that
always getting surgeries each and every year. Another year of Brook Lopez being a bit older.
Bro. You can't get no face surgery? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, another year of Brook Lopez being older. You have Doc Rivers at the helm. You know about Doc Rivers at this point. He can only get you so far.
Man, I hate that, man.
Just making on the talent of Giannis and Damian Lillard, I do think they'll be better coming into another year of experience with each other, and that'll get them to the 4th seed. I think Giannis, he's dominant each and every year. I think Damian Lillard has something to prove with this roster, and he has to show us that he can do something without being attached to Portland Trailblazers. I felt like he was doing better at the end of the year, and I think that'll continue to start the season, and I think him and Giannis will be enough to get them to the 4th seed.
Yeah, I agree with you here. This is where I have in number 4 the Milwaukee Bucks. I think they'll be a fine team. They're gonna get in the playoffs. I think what really matters for them is what they do when they hit the postseason, because this team, they were constructed to win a championship. They're not built for getting regular season wins at this point. The real issue I have during the regular season, why I don't think they're going to be as good as the 3 teams above them, is the age of this team. You got Damian Lillard, who on the older side, Chris Middleton, who might not have like 2 ACLs anymore, Taurean Prince, who's 30 years old. Giannis is the youngest player in the starting lineup, and then Brook Lopez. So during the regular season, when you're playing 82 games, a lack of depth on this team too. Their only rotation bench pieces are Gary Trent, who they picked up for the minimum, and Bobby Portis. So that's really where I have the questions, is the depth and the age. Obviously the star power's there. Obviously, the star power's there.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. He played good for us. I want to say he played good for us.
He's okay. He's average starter. Good. He's not.
Going to Pat Connaughton too.
Yeah, he's a bench. He's a good bench player.
He's not on their bench, buddy. He's starting.
And they have
who's starting? Who's starting?
Yes.
Oh well,
I said Pat Connaughton. Pat Connaughton's on the roster.
Isn't Pat Connaughton starting?
No, Taurean Prince is starting. Is what I'm telling you.
Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby.
And he's 30 years old. Man. But the age is an issue, because during an 82-game regular season, you're relying on Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton, Dame, which they're good players. Don't get me wrong, but you push an 82-game regular season, like they will have some games where they sit out, might be a little banged up, injured. I don't see them winning as many games as the team above them, who are deeper, who have a little more well-rounded roster in terms of depth. So, again, this team is kind of focused on the postseason. So as long as they make a top 5 seed and get home court advantage, that's all that matters to them, which I think they will. But I also don't think that this team's deep enough. Who knows? Maybe some of the young guys that they drafted can pick up a role. But right now, this is where I'm feeling them at number 4.
Yeah, got to take into account the rest games that they're going to have to with the age. So
exactly.
Sixers gonna do the same shit.
I disagree.
I don't.
Tyrese Maxey's like
PG
25. What the fuck?
Okay, obviously not Tyrese, but PG and Embiid. You think they're not going to be seeing games?
Embiid's
I mean,
younger
PG
than
usually
half
plays.
this roster.
Don't matter. So he's also more injury prone than the entire roster.
I mean,
I don't
Giannis
see
been
a
hurt.
reason why they
Besides
won't play
Middleton.
games. Honestly,
Giannis hasn't been healthy his whole career either. Don't act like Giannis some Iron Man, you know?
No,
Yeah,
of course
he's been
not.
hurt
But
the past year.
he's much better than what's the name. I think that. Okay, well, you guys all have the Bucks at 4, right?
Facts.
Okay, so obviously I have the Bucks at 3. I think that they're gonna have a much better season this year, considering that they're gonna have another year to gel together. I think Damian Lillard was picking it up at the end of last season. Hopefully, Chris Middleton gets bionic knees like Lonzo, but you know, that's yet to be seen. But I think that they're not the deepest team in the universe, but I think that the Gary Trent and the Torian Prince pickups were decent. Pat Connaughton's a decent role player.
Bobby.
Shit. Oh my God, Bobby Portis is one of my favorite role players in the league. He brings that fire and that energy. I think that if they can buy into and they have 40-year-old Lopez, who he's old, but at the end of the day, he's still one of the better shot blockers in the league, and that's a useful thing. I think that if Dame and Giannis can both get a healthy season in, and they can have I know it's Doc Rivers at the end of the day, but he's still a good enough coach to win some regular season games. So I think they have a much better and much improved regular season this year.
Yeah, I can see it, but I disagree as well. This is where I have the Philadelphia 76ers. I think the addition of Paul George and Gabe, like Gabe mentioned, all their depth that they have, it's going to be a different team. You don't have to rely on Joel Embiid to give you 35 a night anymore. I think he'll take a lesser role, and in that, he will play more games. He's still an MVP candidate or MVP caliber player, superstar player that you rely on to be your number one. And I feel like they'll start the season off strong with him being healthy to start off the season. Tyrese Maxey taking another leap, like we always discuss. I think this is the year that they'll be in contention for a championship, and they'll showcase that through good habits in the regular season, and they'll rely on their bench a bit more coming into the season. And everyone else will, I think, just play better and elevate each other based off their roles and execution. Coaching is good too with Nick Nurse. So
yeah,
I like this roster being top 3.
I agree for sure. Everything Hassan said and then some.
Yeah, I'm with you guys there. No. I got the 76ers at 3 as well. And even I think they'll have a better regular season. They have way more depth. Kelly Oubre signing Caleb Martin, Andre Drummond as a backup big. I think they'll be totally fine. The coaching also gives me a lot of confidence. This guy loves that fucking
I think Jared McCain will be good too.
Hassan, what are these?
Yeah, Jared McCain. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So
okay.
Yeah, 76ers. Yeah, they'll be good. I think even with Paul George and Embiid missing games, now that it's not just one of them on the team that you got to rely on, you got both. They can kind of switch off, and I think they'll still be fine. You know, Max is going to show up on a nightly basis, and him taking a huge step last year, I only see better things for him in his future. The game's going to open up for him now. You know, Paul George, he can play any position. He can play on the ball, off the ball. So it's not like incorporating him is going to be a struggler. Like it's going to be an issue. Fitting him in playing with Embiid, I think it's going to be a perfect fit as well. So it's going to only open up the game up for Maxey, for Embiid more, for everybody. I trust with the coaching, they'll put him in the right spots. And yeah, I just believe that this team, is definitely in the regular season at least, they're going to be able to get it done and be a top 3 seed.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. Regular season, number 3, the Philadelphia 76ers.
Plus, they got rid of the worst starter in the NBA, in Tobias Harris. That's always a plus.
Facts.
And they don't have that negativity James Harden on the team, Hassan. Can you believe it?
Not facts.
The
best point guard in the NBA?
Super fast.
No.
Oh, brother.
All right, number 2 seed. I think we can all agree on this one, right?
The Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
Duh.
Omari
knew.
I don't got the Celtics here.
No, I know I'm trolling. I got the Knicks.
That.
Okay.
And this orange sucks. This is not orange at all.
The green is better.
Yeah.
Naruto.
I'll just go back to red.
Yeah, shout out to the
Hassan's room looks orange.
Yeah, shout out to the Knicks. Yeah. I'll do the blue. The Knicks got blue.
Yeah, that's good. Shout out to the. Hold on, let me see if I can get some blue. No, that's.
But yeah, so I mean, you know, when it gets to the top of the list, it's usually pretty close, pretty the same.
Purple.
I think the Knicks, especially in light of the Cat trade, it was an upgrade, but the Celtics is almost like they're almost just like, I'm not gonna say bootleg Celtics like makeup. You know what I mean?
No, you could say that.
But when it
Honestly, I
comes,
see
you know
it.
what I mean? When it comes to team makeup, like they're like a little bit like bootleg
They're not as
Celtics.
deep.
They got the
That's
stretch.
a good.
They got the
That's a
stretch
good
big.
simile.
They got the stretch big. They have two elite, not elite wings, but it's just like defensively they're good wings. Their offense comes from the wings on the Celtics, but the offense comes from mostly the point guard on the Knicks. So that's the only difference. But yeah, their team makeup in terms of like personnel is pretty similar. But I don't think that, at least in the regular season, the Celtics are kind of just like regular season stompers at the end of the day too. They've always been a very good regular season team, like no matter what team they had. So I think that they're gonna, with this level of talent, they'll be the 1 seed. But you know,
I also think
on playoff
the
times,
Knicks
on playoff times, I don't know.
the Knicks also with the cat addition and also just getting Mikal, it's just gonna take some time for them to gel a little bit.
Yeah,
You know, especially with Tibbs demanding so much out of his players and like,
Yeah.
you know, having to play a lot of minutes. So I think they'll be good. Obviously, number 2 seed, they're going to be one of the favorites to come out of the East 100%. But the Celtics are just kind of on a different level. Like, they can afford to, like, literally sit Tatum for a game against a bad team and still end up winning. So, yeah, I
Jalen
think,
Brown
you
was
know,
saying that they can play Sam Hauser and freaking Peyton Pritchard against
yeah, and
the
then just have them
Pistons.
take over.
Yeah, it's too deep, man.
Yeah, and I also think I know you guys aren't a fan of this guy, but I think Joe Mazzulla is one of the better coaches in the league. I do think that
I'm starting to believe that.
I agree too. Wait, when do we say we're not a fan?
Well, I know Hassan
I did.
wasn't really. Yeah.
I was actually talking good about him.
I still think any coach can win that roster, but
Oh,
I like
man.
his mentality coming into this season and what he's kind of implementing into his team. So
Yeah, I just feel like he keeps the players like even keel, you know, puts them in the right spots. You know, he's not a great, amazing coach in the sense of like, oh, he's doing some inspiring, like, you know what I
X's and
mean,
O's,
like
yeah.
next level coaching, X's and O's, but he's putting the players in the right position. He's managing the personalities. He's making sure everyone understands what they have to do. And I think as long as he's doing that, especially with a team this talented, that's more than enough. So I think they're just the Celtics are just a complete team, which is, you know, why we probably all have a number 1 in the regular season. I think really where we want them to fail is the playoffs, if we can all agree there. But
Facts. I hope you guys lose.
Yeah, the best team in the NBA. It's not the same roster. I don't think anybody who's made any additions to really stop them from being the best team in the NBA. The Knicks have the best chance right now.
dude, the Celtics picked up Lonnie Walker for the low too, so that's another
Yeah,
guy that
he's
can
even-
beat you on a given night, like,
man,
must be
and he might be
fantastic.
like a G League player for them apparently. So
which is
Look,
crazy,
I mean,
bro. Like,
yeah.
he's definitely NBA. I mean, he's not amazing, but he could
He's
play in the
playing
NBA.
Wait,
100%.
who?
Lonnie Walker.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but
Another
yeah,
player.
I
You
feel
see how
like,
he did Curry? All he got to do is show him the Curry tapes.
Hey, those Curry tapes are.
He
I like.
just got a roster spot just off that one highlight.
They're
That
saved
one
on my
game,
phone.
bro. That one game.
That
he
one
was
game,
going
that one
crazy.
game.
He saved that like run, by the way. Like,
He actually saved that series pretty much.
I know.
yeah,
he
and
did.
you guys don't even want to sign him to the roster.
Hey.
Hey man, I'd take him back.
I'll take
We
it
have
back
too
too.
many guards, bro. We have
I'll
too
take
many
him back.
guards.
Yeah,
That's
we
the
got a lot
problem.
of guards.
Let's get him back once we have not too many guards.
Yeah, well, we should trade for some bigs, I think.
Yeah.
Fucking all we got is
Yeah, 'cause you
Koloko,
would.
bro.
Koloko.
Dude, I'm not even joking.
No, I
That's
know.
sad.
Just saying his name is so funny, bro, because that's all we
Nice,
did this
nice.
whole offseason. And JJ
I think
Redick.
the East is going to be pretty interesting though, from the top 3 teams, or even top 4 with the Bucks, to see how they
Top
do.
6, top 7 are spicy.
I'll do you
Yeah,
one
pretty
further. I
cool.
think the middle is going to be interesting too, in
Yeah.
that like Pacers, Cavs, Magic,
I'm
Heat.
saying.
Yeah,
I think,
Yeah.
I
Top
think
8.
that, yeah.
I think
Hey, the
Parody
Hornets
is
are going
just
to get a
slowly
6
coming
seed.
back.
Hornets number 6 seed is the Gabe's hot take of the day.
Oh,
I guess my hot take is Pacers at 8, but
That is a good hot take.
How about give a hot take that you guys maybe didn't even like put in your predictions, but like, oh, I could see this happening. You know what I mean? Like, I could see like the Heat getting to the 3 seed or something. Even though I didn't predict it, like maybe y'all got any hot
say,
Celtics
takes?
number 2.
Celtics number 2.
That is a hot take, kind of.
That's
think so?
exactly.
yeah.
I guess, yeah, you're right. I'd say the Hornets making the playoffs. I feel like they do have potential this year in terms of talent. If coaching really is, if he's like a guru or anything like that, then maybe they could do it. So that'd be my hot take.
I'll say Magic.
No, go ahead. I want to hear it.
I was gonna say Magic being top 4.
I like
That's
that.
my hot take.
I'm gonna do a little crazier hot take for the East. Pistons are a play-in team this year. They're a 10 seed or a 9 seed. They can do it.
That's frosty.
That's not. Yeah,
They can do it. They can do it.
Because if they all they got to beat out is like the Bulls, Hawks, or the Hornets. I think not. I'm not saying it will happen, but I don't think that's a crazy proposition.
Yeah.
They could.
yeah, I don't know.
Levine
Another
can get
hot
hurt
take.
again.
Ben Simmons is All-Star this year.
That's
Oh
the
my
hardest
God,
one.
that's not even-
That is
that's
the
like-
hardest
Let's
one.
wrap it up. Let's wrap it up for the day.
Like,
Hudson's
all you
got it.
gotta do is be good for
We're literally
half the
in hell.
season to make it.
Now we're
What
in
about
hell.
you, Gabe?
Hudson, take that back. I can't let that slide. Take it back.
Yeah, I'm just joking.
Easy.
He's not gonna be All-Star this year.
As long he got to play
the hardest
first, bro.
thing I
Fuck
ever
All Star.
Yeah. If he can play the first 25 games and be legit, then he maybe, but it won't happen. So.
Gabe, do you have a hot take?
Raptors 7.
Is that
No.
hot? But I mean, I still don't think that's gonna happen.
That's not likely.
Yeah, I
That's
guess
not
it
likely.
is.
Yeah, it's not. We should
Hot
see
take.
what our,
Pacers number 3. If they keep like a god tier thing going, it might not happen. But
That's
Pacers
a hot
third.
take for sure.
Yeah, it's hot,
Pacers
yeah.
top 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Middle
good.
of the pack team, middle of the playoff
Hey.
pack.
Let them cook.
Yeah.
All right, man. We can get it, but I got to do it. I'm not gonna lie.
Another standings in the books. Our
I
third
couldn't
one.
do-
I
Yeah.
kind of want to count our our first two to see who got them correct.
Oh, you know what I want to do, you guys? We should get like our combined lists, put them in for a YouTube video, put them in a bracket and do a playoff prediction based off our bracket, like on a bracket simulator.
That's pretty fire.
That'll be a good video idea. We could do like on a Friday, Saturday, whatever. One of those days. It'll be good.
Down.
Wait, what are you saying? Say it again.
So you know our list, how we gave our list today?
Yeah.
Based on our list, whatever's like the most common ones, and we could come to an agreement. We could do a playoff simulator with our
okay.
list. And we see,
Yeah.
the 2025. We could title it, this team will win the 2025 NBA championship.
We should do that after we do the West and just like do both conferences in the same video.
Yeah.
Playoff.
Yeah, we
Alright,
could do
let's
it.
run.
It'll be like that video, then the Western, then the Eastern winner, and then the Western winner. Or
No, Omari lag out. I think he did.
Yeah, probably
Nah, right
both
here.
froze.
no, he lagged. He's frozen.
Yeah,
Turn your
he's frozen.
camera on.
His camera's frozen.
Turn it on and off.
Well,
Why?
that's probably
Oh,
time
it's
to wrap
frozen?
it up. To be honest.
Yeah, why are you just frozen? It's still frozen.
It's still-
Hey, yo, I gotta take a pic of this.
Nah, I think it's frozen. Oh, it's because I was fucking with the background shit at first.
I'm gonna send it in the chat right now.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Gabe. I also want to
Always
take a
is.
list of there. You're back.
Yeah,
Of what
work?
our
All right,
predictions were the first 2 years to see who's.
Oh,
had
that's a good one, Huss. That's a.
correct.
Should we do that
ones.
now or later? If it's
You know what
quick?
we should do
Nah,
at the
yeah,
end of the
that sounds
year?
good.
We should have like a point system where like if you're like if you're exactly on the right seed, you get like 5 points. If you're one away, you get like 3. If you're 2 away,
That
you get like
is
1
correct.
point.
I like it. I like
and then
it.
add up who had the most points and who was the closest to like the standing predictions.
From before the season
Yeah.
started. I like that. That's a
Yeah,
good
I'm
one.
down.
Yeah, I like that.
Just-
I'm gonna keep my list.
Oh yeah,
I'm
we'll
gonna
have the
keep my
video
list.
actually. I'm gonna keep my list too, but we have the video too.
Yeah,
so,
the video's here too.
Yeah.
It'll be stuck. It'll be in my notes for sure. So
Yeah.
I
Good
like
ideas,
it. I like
guys. Good list today.
All right, yeah, good episode. If you're watching this after the fact in the VODs, let us know your predictions in the comment section below, and you guys can come back to the video too and see how correct you were at the end of the year. You guys can join us, see how stupid we fucking got this thing.
I think
We're
we'll
probably
make
gonna
a
be wrong in
after
so many
video
things.
for.
I'm
our
100% correct this list, guys. Just letting you know.
playing and
no,
up.
mine's gonna be 100%. I promise.
Same here, as always.
Lock it up.
Anyway, the Pacers AC, but nigga.
Yeah, watch.
Yeah, AC is crazy, but we'll see. Who knows?
Hey man, I'm dying on this hill. They'll be number 8.
No.
All right. That'll wrap it up for this episode of the Bar Don't Lie podcast. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Drop a like, drop a sub, drop that guy from the team.
Get it off the screen.
What y'all talking about? What happened?
You?
That's a
happened?
note to end it because we're gonna get
Yeah,
demonetized.
got
for
blow
this.
that nigga face out.
All right. Appreciate. Hold up. And you already know what we got to play on the way out. Shout out to everybody.
A former
especially-
Hornet. Miles
Yeah,
Bridges
we do.
teammate.
We do. Do I have this shit
Yes,
here?
sir.
Yup.
Yo, Kai,
Thank you for tuning in
You?
to this episode.
love
Drop a
yourself.
like, drop a
Know
sub.
yourself, want yourself.
Check out the clips.
Go to
Check out the
bed.
TikTok. Check out the Instagram. And we'll see you next
I'm harder
time.
than Christ and I'm harder than Mike.
I'm harder than Mike.
In the movie, it's
Like,
like never been spiked. Never been true. This what I do.
what I do.
I've been with the
Yeah,
crime break.
yeah,
I am the
yeah.
goon. They got me all bent.
Got me all bent. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've been like, oh, since a child.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.